Welcome back to the drop. Another episode. Another episode where we ask questions. Where we're not afraid to have a theory. Where we're not afraid to search out and know that, the Most High is guiding us. You know what I'm saying? So, Drop Nation, I love you. Everybody that's waking up, dropping that drop. Whether you're doing it on YouTube or you're doing it, in your personal life, your family, you're removing those hijacks. You Drop Nation. If you are most interested more than anything else, more than the Olympics, more than all that bullshit at work, if the thing that got your interest the most right now is removing hijacks, that's how you know you got the drop. If you're interested in removing the hijacks right now, you know you got the drop. And I call you Drop Nation. And I say they can't tell you who you are, and they dang sure can't tell you who you're not. So sometimes we're tired, sometimes we're exhausted, and when we're weak, we're strong. When we're weak, we're strong. So let's get it, man. Love to everybody. You know how we do, man. I like to bounce around, man, and just do a little samba, do a little dance before we get into, this is part 8. Like I said, it's your fault. You keep this drop going, but no matter what the titles are, it's the same old classroom, the same old thing. First of all, much love to Catrice rocks the drop. Catrice rocks the drop. Can I go back to Catrice? Catrice rocks the drop, man. Much love to Catrice Green. Yeah, I told her send me a flick and I'll put it on the site. So the shirts will be in, they say, on the 18th. So we'll hopefully get those out Friday at the latest, and you'll get your shirts. Everybody that signed up for the Drop VIP package before that August 1st cutoff, you know what I'm saying, you know who you are. And again, make sure you email me music@432thedrop.com with your shirt size, and make sure we confirm your mailing address. But we're gonna get those out to you guys, and then we'll put you on the wheel. You'll be on the Drop Nation wheel. All right. So love to everybody. Sorry, I've been talking, man. I've been talking all day, man. Building with my brothers, man. We built some amazing architecture, and creativity and thought. Put some things together, man, and we'll definitely continue that. But we're gonna get to it, man. Love to Catrice, my sister Catrice rocks the drop. So when you get your shirt, send me the flick, man. Music@432thedrop.com. I'll put it up. Rocking the drop. My wife today hit me up, Chef Candy. She was stopped to get a coffee. I think one of them little Starbucks or something. You know what I'm saying? She went to the neighborhood one, the community one out here in LA. Shout out to the Ladera Center. I grew up all in these tracks, man. This is all turf for me. So, she was rocking the drop shirt. You know what I mean? And, about 3 or 4 people came up to her like, yo, 432 the Drop Nation. And that just felt good to know that, this energy is in the community, man. It's in the community. It's in Inglewood. It's in LA. It's in Wisconsin. It's in Chicago. All right, Vegas, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we're here, man. We are here. We are reuniting with our energy, with our earth. You know what I'm saying? With wisdom, with our Father. That unity, that union is coming back together. They've separated it. We're coming back together, and that's word to AD and Uno on the beats. Man, we've been building today, man. So, let's get to it, man. Love to Catrice rocking the drop. You already know. Very interesting. All right, historic drop. Giant pyramid discovered hidden inside mountain. I put tree on there just to be fun. In Mexico, dwarfs the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now you're going to hear that this thing is about 4 times the size. Let's get it. Dabu 7 got the drop.
The last time I talked about an underground pyramid, so to speak, was when we were debating about the one in China. That is definitely a pyramid that has been covered by trees on order of the...
All right. We know what they're saying, but check this out. So do you see a tree? Right? You see a pyramid? You see what I'm saying? So, these are the theories. Did they carve these pyramids from the trees? And that's why they built them from the top to the bottom. They didn't have to be suspended in midair. They were a tree at one time. You know what I'm saying? So, interesting thing. You see how they put their church right on top of it? Because they want to tap into the frequency. They want to tap into the frequency of the tree. So let's hear more about this tree.
Government, in which also sits in an area that they dubbed to be a forbidden zone. Now, what we have in Mexico is another massive pyramid. And we know that there's Mayan pyramids and other temples that we've seen, the Temple of the Sun that run all the way down through Central to South America, all these different temples. Step pyramids. And we've talked about the massive ancient pyramid that is underground in Crimea, along with several others. But what we have in Mexico here is a truly massive underground ancient pyramid that they say dwarfs the size of the one in Giza. You're looking at a church that was erected at the very top of this after some time. October 12th, 1519, there was a bloodbath on an unprecedented scale at this location.
1519, bloodbath. Sound familiar? So this tree, a bloodbath, man. And they built a church on top just to hijack city.
Leaving 10% of the city's population dead.
Wow.
This is all when the Spaniards came through here. They settled in Cholula, which is now part of Mexico, erecting buildings, and then finally this church and everything that was built on the large hill or the top platform of this pyramid. Now what's interesting is this isn't widely known because it doesn't look like a pyramid and it's not shown like many of the others. But they say beneath that church, hiding under tufts of grass, trees, and soil, is an ancient pyramid standing 450 meters wide and 66 meters tall. From end to end, they say the Great Pyramid of Cholula is equivalent to 9 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Bang.
And it says here that the obscure temple that no one's heard of has an impressive array of records as well. It's the largest pyramid on the planet.
Whoa. Whoa and whoa. Double whoa. It has an impressive array of records and it's the largest pyramid on the planet.
That no one's heard of. Has an impressive array of records as well. It's the largest pyramid on the planet.
Okay, so do you think we're going to hear about these records? What records are they talking about? What records are they talking about? An impressive array of records. I was just, vibing with my man, Arthur Scott Jr., man, kicking that edges. My man got me busting up at all times, man. Really appreciate Arthur Scott. He brings a lot of fun, a lot of humor to his drop. You know what I'm saying? Just, he just lets loose, man. Love to his family, man. But, yeah, just was talking about, fasting and then, teaming up with, a few of his kinsmen, that were scribes, and then, they were under the energy, to write and to write and to write and to write. So they said 70 books are hidden, and then I think it was 26 books or 22 books that were allowed to even the unholy, or even the ones, even the hijacks could get these 20 or so books, but 70 of them, were put away somewhere. So when I hear people coming up on records like this and it's just swept under the rug, I wonder where these other books are.
With a base 4 times larger than the Great Pyramid at Giza, and nearly twice the volume. Then they say, never mind that, It's the largest monument ever constructed anywhere by any civilization to this day.
To this day. And again, kings to teach me to be priestly. My man Peru Salam. Man, those kings really dropped it on the Bolivia, right? The Tiwanaku. Anak, right? Anak. Sons of Anak giants. Tiwanaku, Bolivia, is the city of Hebron. So we're all in America when we talk about all these biblical stories are happening here. We've been lied to so that we don't know where we're at. And that they just got here. They just found us here. They want us to be way over there consciously arguing with each other about Africa when it all went down here. This is the old world. Egypt was here up until the 18th dynasty. We have to keep remembering where we're at.
It is known as Man-Made Mountain.
Man-Made Mountain. Come on.
It has the church sitting on top. It is
see.
also, the church is the oldest continuously occupied building on the continent.
That's how long that church been there.
This is truly an amazing story. And today, now, after a lot of debate, they're saying that the construction of this began around 300 BC. By who remains a mystery.
Now watch this.
Like all these other cultures that just vanished.
They just vanished. He said the construction began 300 BC. We know there's no AD and BCs, right? Before hijack, after hijack. So he went all into the Spaniard business, all into the bloodbath. 10% died right there of the entire population, right there. But we don't know who built these. These people just vanished. You see how the hijack goes? So y'all keep that up. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to do a little samba. You know, get your money dropped. United States hits another recession news. All right. So, you know, they're playing games. All right. Get some old drop. Flatwater, you know, does keep it interesting, man. Got some short film drop. Put it up for my children. That's how I get them involved with the drop, man. I just put up short films and they like them. Funny drop, you know. Keep some bait out there for the comedians, for the comics, whatever, you know. But this is what I want, man. This is the drop. That ain't the drop. This is the drop. I put this in for the Kevin Hart fans to come over and listen to this. All right? I put this in for the West Ball fans to come in and listen to M.A. Truth, and you'll see why. Love to the sister. M.A. Truth for real, though.
Hey. M.A. Truth here.
What up?
I am in such awe and respect for those who have been bringing forth a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding, overstanding with regards to frequency, vibration, things that have been hidden from us for so very long. We can't even begin to imagine how long. But I wanted to add to that a little bit. And I'm going to begin by reading a small portion of the Kabbalion. And it's chapter 9. And it's vibration. And I'm going to attach some videos to this so you can get a feel for where I'm coming from. Words, language, that we speak out of our mouths has power, has the ability to create. Since we are creative beings, made from our Creator, given that we have that power within ourselves to do the same. So here it goes. It says, vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. The Kabbalion. The great third hermetic principle, the principle of vibration, embodies the truth that motion is manifest in everything in the universe, that nothing is at rest, that everything moves, vibrates, and circles. This hermetic principle was recognized by some of the early Greek, we won't go into that, philosophers, who embodied it in their systems. But then, for centuries, it was lost sight of by the thinkers outside the Hermetic ranks. But in the 19th century, Physical science rediscovered the truth, and the 20th century scientific discoveries have added additional proof of the correctness and truth of this centuries-old Hermetic doctrine. The Hermetic teachings are that not only is everything constant movement and vibration, but that the differences between the various manifestations of the universal power are due entirely to the varying rate and mode of vibrations. Not only this, but that even the all in itself manifests a constant vibration of such an infinite degree of intensity and rapid motion that it may be particularly considered as at rest. The teachers directing the attention of the student to the fact that even on the physical plane, a rapidly moving object such as a revolving wheel seems to be at rest. The teachings are to the effect that spirit is at one end of the pole of vibration, the other pole being certain extremely gross forms of matter. Between these two poles are millions upon millions of different rates and modes of vibration. Modern science has proven that all that we call matter and energy are but modes of vibration or vibratory motion.
And just right quick, I know we're talking about worlds beyond the poles, right? So she's talking about two poles. I want to get that part back, and how that compares with this organic body. The earth is one body. Even the celestial is a part of the body. Land, water, connecting. So we're arguing over land masses, and it's just earth. We're waking up. These are our mothers. Look at this, sister. These are our mothers waking up, waking us up as sons, daughters, Israel. We're waking up. We're combining vibration. Directly with scripture, directly with our orientation, directly with our history. And what's coming out of it is exciting. Energy's coming out of it. Pure water's coming out of it. We used to be connected to both our mothers and father. They hijacked us and put us in religion that either goes towards one or the other. And we'll get more into it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. It's a beautiful thing. But in Christianity, we have father, father, father. In Islam, you have this, Allah, Allah. This feminine energy, this feminine deity. So they mocked our connection. They mocked our male and female. They mocked our connection with these religions. And they're worshiping fallen ones and these entities, but they're worshiping them in a fashion where they're mocking us by separating us and showing us when we wake up that they've separated our male and female energy. We don't relate to our earth. We don't relate to our trees. We don't relate to wisdom. In the beginning, with wisdom. In the beginning, with wisdom. Shows that connection right there between the father and the mother. With wisdom. We grow and then we crave wisdom. Wisdom gives you the creativity to conquer nations. With wisdom, you go into battle. Your father puts down the law of the house. With wisdom is the architect. With wisdom, is the creativity of how you're formed, of how the earth is formed. Yet with law, it's molded. You need the framer, and you need the shaper. And we're going to get into these Mayan cliches and how they broke it down. And how, building with my brothers today, man, Alton Davis, getting to the root of it all, man, it was just really enlightening. And, it's coming through me because I want to bring it out. But these are our mothers. We got to, get our energy back together again. They put us in this and that. And one is feminine, one is masculine. And without the other one, you're just going in a loop. And that's when they get you in a loop. So you go after one thing thinking that you're worshiping the whole creator, but you're only worshiping a feminine energy aspect. Abstract. Not the real thing, but abstract. And in Christianity, you're really going after just the masculine energy. Abstract. Not the real one, but abstract. Not the concrete. But in reality, in concrete, we have wisdom. Everyone craves wisdom. The Most High gives wisdom to whom he chooses. But wisdom says she first comes at you crooked in the Book of Jubilees to make sure you're following the laws. She sees how you react to harsh times to see how you connect to your Creator if you're going to call out to your Creator only. Then she rests with you. How do we drop what we drop? Why is everybody saying we never seen people work together so efficiently? Because with wisdom we surf the correct frequency, the correct wave. We have the right surfboard. We're just surfing and having a great time in theory. Man, it's a beautiful thing. That's the energy of our trees. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're missing. Since most of us come up as Christians, we're so disconnected from our mother, it's crazy. But we know we're missing something. We know that that's creativity. Metaphysics try to say reptilian brain and creative brain and right brain and left brain. And you're talking about a balance of energy. There's a balance of energy. But it's what you are. You are your father's seed, but you come out of your mother's womb. So you only give your father honor by honoring your mother. That's the commandment. Honor your father and your mother. And your mother. He didn't separate those. Honor your father and your mother. Do not put power before your energy. What's your energy? With wisdom. So that's the feminine, masculine energy that you are, that you put no other power before what you are, but you got to come back together again. It gets deep, but it's a beautiful thing, man. Hey. For the understanding, man, to plug back in and be whole again. To not just see things one way, but to understand creatively how to make the next step. Creatively. Use creativity the same way creation is. The same way the sky was beaten out as a firmament. The same way the earth was put together as building blocks, as an architect does. As a creating force does. As creativity does. You know what I'm saying? That's the energy your mother mourns for her sons and daughters that were cut down because they refused to listen. Your mother mourns for the fact that she had to be shamed because you don't listen to your daddy. Do you see? You shamed your mother by not listening to your father. His law, his house, his law, his earth. You don't listen to the laws of the earth, you shame your father. And thus you shame your mother and you lose wisdom and your eyes are closed. So you have to come and, vibrate with our mothers, vibrate with our father. You dig? As a community, as a village, be balanced again. Understand the order and the rules of the name of the game. Understand the order of the house. All praise, hey. That's the oneness. It's a marriage, right? When you get married, is that not you becoming one? So it's not, hey, I married with wisdom. Is it not with wisdom that all is created? Is it not one energy? One energy. So it's not about two different energies. It's about one. It's still the creator. It's the balance. It's the marriage. It's the example. It's the existence. It's the breath. It's the potter. It's the clay. It's the architect. It's the energy. It's the system you're in. Wake up. Activate.
And some of the more advanced scientists are rapidly moving toward the positions of the occultists, who hold that the phenomena of mind are likewise modes of vibration or motion. Let us see what science has to say regarding the question of vibrations in matter and energy. In the first place, science teaches that all matter manifests in some degree, the vibrations arising from temperatures or heat, but an object, cold or hot, both being but degrees of the same things, it manifests certain heat vibrations, and in that sense is in motion and vibration. Then all particles of matter are in circular movement, from corpuscle to suns. The planets revolve around suns, and many of them turn on their axes. I think that's part of a hijack, right? The planets revolve around suns, and many of them turn on their axes. Well, we know that the Earth is fixed, okay, and immovable.
Beautiful thing.
The suns, I've read that, move around greater central points, and these are believed to move around still greater, and so on, and ad infinitum. The molecules of which the particular kinds of matter are composed are in a state of constant vibration and movement around each other and against each other. The molecules are composed of atoms, which likewise are in a state of constant movement and vibration. The atoms are composed of corpuscles, sometimes called electrons, ions, etc., which also are in a state of rapid motion, revolving around each other, and which manifest at a very rapid state and mode of vibration. I'm going to let that rest there for right now. As you can see, I got the Papal that I'm reading from. But like I said, I'm going to add some videos to what I'm trying to establish here, and that is that our words are vibratory. When you listen to someone speak and you hear the tone of their voice, it resonates. You can tell the difference between lies and truth, because truth resonates within your belly. And you know that lie, because it don't sit right. You know, something in it doesn't sit right, and you know the difference. I would like to expand on this, and I will do so at a later date. But I just wanted to put this out there for you to think about, something to challenge the way that majority of us process information, and not only process information, but the words that we actually speak, the definitions that we give to these low vibratory words that have been given to us and that we've been born into and been indoctrinated with this bastardized language that I'm speaking to you with right now. Truth resonates within those who have an ear to hear. So stay tuned, people. This is M.A. True. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I am. Shout out to King Drop. No doubt this brother is on point, and he's got a library, and the people that he's affiliated with are bringing truth. We do live in exciting times. We've got more information coming to us now than we've ever had before. So with that, I would say check out King Drop, and also Hiram Art, another brother on point. Without doubt, the beloved Lex Will, Arthur Scott Jr. Go ahead, bro. These are just a few of them that I can recall offhand. But raise your vibration. Hear with the spirit within. Let it resonate within you. Let truth be known within you. Ashe.
Hey, nothing but that pure water. Love to the Queen, M.A. Truth. You'll be hearing a lot more, man. I feel a resurgence coming on. You know what I'm saying? Love to let us find the truth. Truth. Oh, synchronicity. Everybody asking me all these, Mandela effect and this. I never researched, I've never at all have even typed Mandela effect in Google. So I just haven't been drawn to it for some reason. You know what I'm saying? But maybe, I don't know. Let us find the truth, man. Keep checking in. Keep on the blog. Keep on the chat. Keep on the library. Keep on keeping on. Great resource, man. And the brother is working very hard on the platform just for you. So please use it. You know what I'm saying? Get it real. Get it right. Alright. I want to get some of this edges real bad off the sky. But I want to really kind of make a dent in this book today, man. So But this is tremendous drop. Please check it out. Please check it out. All of it. All of it. But I got a lot out of this. I might have time at the end, hopefully, so we'll see. But, you know, that's how much it's on point. Edris is really helping me out. You know what I'm saying? Catrice rocks the drop. I love this picture, man. Every time I see Catrice, I just start glowing, start smiling. Look at me, man. I just saw Catrice. See, I'm just glowing. Oh, man. Sister just sent me this. And, yeah, it's political drop. It's secret drop. All that stuff. I'll let you check it out. Catch up, catch up, catch up, catch up. Definitely, you know, we're going to get back in the drop library. Love to everybody rocking the drop. Can't wait to come with the No Hijacks Allowed shirts. We're going to really pick up the pace. We got a lot coming just for you to rock and feel good in, and, you know, be a conversation starter like my wife, you know what I'm saying, rocking this shirt right here. 4 people came up to her just at Starbucks. You know, she got to, one of them, she said that, you know, he a Israelite and this and that, and, you know what I'm saying, he's, you know, learning and growing, man. So, hey, man, kings to that brother, whoever you are, you know what I'm saying, and much love to you, man. Get at us, you know what I mean? Get at us. Oh, okay, so let me just jump right into this. So, much love to Geo Shifter, man. This is the one that dropped the documentary, No Forest on Flat Earth, that got everything really popping. Got our perspective adjusted a little bit more. So, you know, it's okay to have a theory, man, and to search it out. Some people try to tear it down and be like, well, what about the basalt hexagon structures on all mountains? How come all mountains or tree stumps don't have the same basalt hexagonal, you know, X, Y, and Z? And, you know, my only understanding on it is just that these are crystals we're talking about, and crystals form in different ways. These trees are crystals. There's different forms of crystals. Crystals look different, you know, you know what I mean? So one crystal is not going to look the exact as every other crystal. I also have a wild theory before I go back into this wild theory. Yeah, I'm just going to go with it. Don't judge me, all right? I'm just going to be open with y'all. If y'all want to hear a Hail Mary, I'm going to give you a Hail Mary. Afros. Yes, it starts with afros. Think about the tree. Think about these large trees. Think about the branches. Think about all the fruit and all that stuff like that. How they must have covered such a vast area, just covering the children, protecting the children, you know, great oxygen. Imagine the oxygen level. But anyway, this tree, you can almost imagine it, or, you know, follow me now, that is the afro. Okay? Think about the Maya crystal skulls, how they stored data in these 12 Maya skulls, and how these skulls, you know, apparently had some spiritual data. Remember, these trees keep records. These are the record keepers. So how are they keeping records? They're storing them in the crystal. Why haven't they been able to uproot any of these trees? All they've done is cut them down. But they haven't uprooted any of them, just like they can't uproot you. So since they can't uproot it, I'm looking at it like, all right, just like a crystal skull. And, you know, Enter the Stars looked at it like an eye. Somebody else looked at it like a lung or an umbilical cord. Shout out to the sister April dropping so much drop. You know what I'm saying? Looking at it like an umbilical cord. Shout out to the sister Miss Exceptional. Beautiful vibration as well. Everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Styles by Nina. You already know, man. So an umbilical cord, and then all of our umbilical cords got kind of cut off. For some reason, I started looking at it like seeing some type of like crystal skull, like in the root of the tree. Like at the root of the tree is where the DNA, or not the DNA, but the data is being saved in the roots. That's why they can't be uprooted. That's why they're finding these crystal mines inside of the roots, right? So the root is almost like the brain, and then perhaps, I don't know how far down these roots go, but in certain trees, perhaps these will be the foundations of the earth. So you can almost imagine a man standing up, his legs being the foundations of the earth, right? Or a woman standing, her legs being the foundations of the earth. And then comes, you know what I'm saying, all the way up to the brain, or what you want to, you know, whatever you want to call it, umbilical cord. I know we're talking about the stomach and the brain, but you know what I'm saying? The crystal skull, which is the root of the tree. And then essentially the tree, the branches are pretty much the hair or the extension, right? The dreadlocks. So all they did is just cut cut the dreads. All they did was cut the locks. But the root still remains, right? The data is still stored in the brain, so to speak. And perhaps this brain connects to a deeper root structure that actually becomes the foundations of the earth. So these trees are literally what we're being balanced on. Literally, they are the foundations of the earth. If some do go down that far, and if some went up so high, imagine how far it might go down. A tree that stretches all the way to the heavens, miles and miles up, might have roots that go miles and miles down. Above, so below type of thing. So are the tree roots the foundations of the earth? That's all I'm asking. I'm going to throw that out to you. Leave your comment and let me know what you think. Love to Geo Shifter. One day our afros are going to grow back. Our dreadlocks will be back. The branches will connect back to as the extension cords. You know what I'm saying? Our antennas will be back. Right now, it's kind of like they gave us a clean shave, and even like those little things that we thought were trees that are really just the brushes and the moss. That's like the little stubble. That's like the little stubble in your hair when you give yourself a shave. And then you still got some longer strands. But they definitely done cropped your top. That's kind of the situation, you know what I'm saying? So, man, love to Geo Shifter. He dropped this on Worlds Beyond the Poles, and that's going to take us right. And we're going to keep on reading until, you know what I'm saying, that Ruach says enough. But this is part 8. Love to you. Let go.
Celestial.
The connect. Start at the top. Start at the top. Let go. Drop nation. Patiently waiting. Vibration. Sensation. Habitation. No, there's one more. Come on, give it to me. Come on. Come on. Gyration. All right. That's all I got. Maybe it's waiting on me to press it up. I'm over here freestyling facts.
This video is inspired by the book
Let go.
Worlds Beyond the Poles, Physical Continuity of the Universe. This book was published in 1959. These days, the book sells on eBay for around $500. I was blown away by this book. If you research stuff like Flat Earth or Hollow Earth.
And right quick, I didn't know he did a drop on Worlds Beyond the Poles. Alright? So this is how amazing it is, because I was separately dropping the book along with the No Forest because I really wanted to drop the book. I just wanted to get back into it because when I dropped it before, I did a 3-part series on the same book months ago, and then all this activity started picking up around, and I said, well, maybe it's a good time to reintroduce the book. So then we get hit with the No Forest, and he connects it himself. I mean, he did it back to back with Worlds Beyond the Poles and this, and here we are dropping now an 8-part series on Worlds Beyond the Poles, No Forest. And the same author dropped the book. Hey, roll with it, surf the wave.
You have to read this book. Let me read the first page of the book, which is very telling. The following pages contain the first and only description of the realistic universe of land, water, oxygen and vegetation, where human and other forms of animal life abound. This is not a work of fiction, nor is it a technical analysis of anything. It is a simple recital of fact, which transcends the most elaborate fiction ever conceived. It is diametrically opposed to the assumptions and mathematical conclusions of theorists and technicians throughout the ages. It is truth. These pages describe the physical land routes from the Earth to every land area of the universe about us, which is all land. Such routes extend from beyond the North Pole and South Pole, so-called ends of the Earth, as agreed by theory. It will here be shown that there are no northern or southern limits to the Earth. It will thereby be shown where movement straight ahead from the pole points and on the same level as the Earth permits of movement into celestial land areas appearing up or out from the earth. A basic version of this book was written and has been expounded at American universities between 1927 and 1930. Since then, the U.S. Naval Research Bureau and the U.S. Navy have conclusively confirmed the work's principal features. Since December of 1928, U.S. Navy polar expeditions have determined the existence of land extent beyond both pole points. Out of bounds of the assumed isolated globe, Earth as postulated by the Copernican theory. On January 13 of 1956, as this book was being prepared, a U.S. naval air unit penetrated the extent of 2,300 miles beyond the assumed south pole end of the Earth. That flight was always over land and water and ice. For very substantial reasons, the memorable flight received negligible press notice. The United States and more than 30 other nations prepared unprecedented polar expeditions for 1957 and 1958 to penetrate land now proved to extend without limit beyond both pole points. This work provides the first account of why it is unnecessary to attempt shooting up or out from the terrestrial level for a journey to any of the astronomically named celestial land areas. It relates why such attempt would be futile. These pages present evidence that the same atmospheric density of this Earth prevails throughout the entire universe. Such a feature proves that, except for the presence of a gaseous sky envelope and underlying oxygen content equivalent to that of the Earth, we could never observe the luminous celestial areas designated as a star or planet. The observed luminous areas of the universe about us represent celestial sky areas, and they are as continuous and connected as all areas of this Earth's continuous and connected sky. Hence, it is shown that there are no globular or isolated bodies to be found throughout the entire universe.
So this is, you've seen it in your science class, you've seen it all your life, you've seen these images. But do these look, I mean, these are probably the best images he can pull up. Alright? These are paintings. They're just paintings and composites. They've given you a whole little light show. And your little lens and telescope is already rigged for failure to understand the elements of lens deception.
First, they are elements of lens deception. This work is radically and rightfully opposed to astronomical conclusions of all ages. It depicts the illusion developing from all telescopic observations and photographs. It clearly explains and vividly illustrates why those lens-developed illusions have been mistakenly accepted as facts. This work projects man's first understanding of the factual and endless universe, which contains human life throughout its vast length and width, regardless of all abstract theory to the contrary. This book claims to be non-fiction based on facts. Endless land with human life beyond poles? No one is talking about this book on YouTube. I only found 2 good videos so far, one from Chippy the Chipmunk and another great video from
Chippy the Chipmunk, man. That's the homie. He comes in just to drop on what's popping around these poles, alright? So yeah, kings to Chippy the Chipmunk, you know what I'm saying? Got the drop.
Flat Drop. I will link these videos in the description.
Oh man, hey, this is crazy. I literally didn't know this shit was, I didn't even watch this. I just watched like the first 3 minutes. But now I remember somebody left a comment and said, oh no, Chippy the Chipmunk came and left a comment and said he featured us when he dropped on Worlds Beyond the Poles. So I didn't see it, but now I see it with you for the first time. So love to Geo Shifter for the drop on that. Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to do that, Geo Shifter.
Here are some other interesting parts I took out of the book. February of 1947. I'd like to see that land beyond the pole. That area beyond the pole is the center of the great unknown. Admiral Richard Byrd before his 7-hour flight over land beyond the North Pole. November of 1955. This is the most important expedition in the history of the world. Admiral Richard Byrd before departing to explore land beyond the South Pole. January of 1956. 13 members of the United States expedition accomplished a flight of 2,700 miles from the base at McMurdo Station, which is 400 miles west of the South Pole, and penetrated a land extent of 2,300 miles beyond the pole. Most of you probably know about the interview Admiral Byrd gave on the television. Here is a small part of it.
Our guest tonight found out whether there was any land north of the North American continent. He made that first discovery flight, and I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans.
Greatest living explorer. This is on live television. So, listen up.
Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
There is...
Any questions? Greatest living explorer just told you that there's land as big as the United States. Let's just call it South America and North America. Beyond the South Pole, wherever that is. Do you have any more questions? Do you think that's play? Are they teaching you that in school, or are they saying you're on the ball? Which one are they teaching? Which one are they promoting? Open your eyes. There's more land.
There is no physical end to the Earth's northern and southern extent.
Bang.
There is no space between areas of the universe.
Bang.
But there must deceptively appear to be space in all observations.
Bang.
That apparent space results from the illusory globularity and isolation of the celestial sky areas.
Come on.
The concept that the universe is made out of globular and isolated bodies originated from the curvature that is created by all lenses. The bodies are an illusion. The ancient conclusion of Galileo that luminous celestial areas are isolated from each other and are circling in space was founded on the inescapable errors of lens functioning. The circling movement is an illusion. In an endless land and sky universe, the undulating or billowing of luminous sky gas must deceptively appear as a circling or ellipsing movement. The deceptive appearance develops from the fact that such gaseous sky movement is detected by a circular lens. Under the mobile sky gas, which extend throughout the celestial realm, there is undetectable but very factual land, water, vegetation and life like on this earth or realm. Optical illusions result from the function of the human eye lens, and all photographic and telescopic lenses are patterned after the optic lens. Lens function demands lens convergence, which causes the deceptive curvature created.
It's amazing because, that's kind of the way everyone's always pictured the firmament, right? I stretch it out like a tent for you to live in. Isaiah 40. I stretched out the heavens, Shamayim, beat them out with my right hand and stretched them out like a tent for you to live in. And you see an eyeball. And look at these colors. These are very high frequency colors. So Now you got your Earth and your Middle Earth, right? The center, all that stuff. These look like portals. Maybe the south and north, or some type of portals like the space loop. All inside the eye, you know. Does your creator ever take his eye off of you? That's the question.
Created by the lens into a disc-like proportion reflecting the roundness of all lenses. Every area of the Earth's continuous and unbroken outer sky surface would express the identical deceptions when observed and photographed from high altitude and from celestial land areas. In 1927, science was without knowledge that any terrestrial sky area would be luminous when observed from beyond the sky. The first observation and photograph was achieved by Professor Auguste Picard in 1931. I made a video about him recently. Picard had not achieved sufficient altitude for a completely dark stratosphere background, which would probably express outer sky luminosity. That disk development, which was referred to as an upturned disk, was partial only because sufficient distance had not been achieved from the gaseous sky area.
You have to research this. Alright? When we drop the drop, you get it and you research it. So that you understand if it's play, see if it resonates.
Photographs that were taken in 1946 with V2 rockets at an altitude of around 65 miles showed a deceptive disc-like and isolated sky area over White Sands, New Mexico and adjacent territory. These rocket camera photographs at greater altitudes hold most sensational confirmation of physical continuity.
Wait. Photographs that were taken in 1946 with V2 rockets at an altitude of around 65 miles. "65 miles" showed a deceptive disc-like and isolated sky area over White Sands, New Mexico, in the adjacent territory. So just that area over New Mexico looked like a star. Looked like its own luminary globular thing, and it was just White Sands, New Mexico. But according to this high altitude, you know what I'm saying, it shows you that type of lens deception that happens when you're at that altitude. And so whatever we're seeing, we look the same to them. These rocket camera photographs at greater altitudes hold most sensational confirmation of physical continuity.
Physical continuity. The stars and planets are connected luminous celestial sky areas with underlying land.
All that land.
The Earth cannot be circumnavigated north and south. A few around the world flights have contributed to popular misconception that the Earth has been circumnavigated north and south. All progressive movement beyond the pole points leads beyond the assumed end of the globe Earth, and that land beyond constitutes a land connection with the celestial. The connecting land appearing up or out from terrestrial points other than the poles is attainable by movement straight ahead from the imaginary pole points. This is not 1927. The existence of worlds beyond the poles have been confirmed by US naval exploration during the 30 years since then. According to this book, this is an illustration of the universe. Understand that this is not a shape of the real universe, but it illustrates how we see the universe. The way our eyes work creates this illusion. Here is another illustration. We live on the bottom, on the terrestrial land surface, and above us is a layer of air and oxygen. Above that we have curved parts that represent the sky areas, which are luminous when viewed from above. Above that we have the stratosphere, and above that we have the celestial level that is the same as the terrestrial. As above, so below. Since up is always relative, our celestial cousins look up or out through their inner blue sky as we do through ours, and behold the same nightly star pattern that we witness. Contrary to popular misconception based on the illusory shooting up or out from any location of the terrestrial or celestial would take the explorer away from the universe structure and project him into infinite space. Place your thumb on the illustration's stratosphere section, then draw it towards you. That will describe where the space explorer would go. If he did not land back on some land area of the terrestrial, he would be completely lost in space wherein the universe was constructed. Or he would be projected up on some terrestrial area, remote from the point of flight origin. Any spaceship launched, and there is no doubt that it could be launched, would either be lost in space infinite or be returned to some area of the Earth. The universe is so ordered that power increase to overcome the arc of flight would precipitate the spaceship away from the universe. On the other hand, insufficient power would restrict the spaceship to the movement of all projectiles, and it would have to conform to the arc of flight, which would return it to some land area of the terrestrial. Up is always relative to the position we hold anywhere in the universe structure. When we stand on the land up there, this terrestrial land we have left behind will have to appear to be up to our observation from a celestial area. Sitting in the nose of a rocket that is at an altitude of 500 miles from Earth's surface, will have lost sight of where it entered the dark stratosphere. Then, wherever we look, we will observe the luminous points astronomically designated. As we look at the sky area covering the land surface we departed from, there will be seen the same luminous points that envelop us from every angle of observation. Then, as altitude is increased, the lights of the celestial will bear no areas. And as the universal skylight will not be arranged in a greater relation of up, the lights of the terrestrial sky direct course over and under our rocket, but will appear at every angle. Up is in fact everywhere. The so-called heavens above are everywhere.
Heya is everywhere. You see how that works? I mean, why mention the heavens above if we're not going to mention the creator of the heavens above? It's a touchy subject, but it's real. It's absolutely real. Understanding the system you're in was an intelligent design, is an intelligent design, a playground, but for who? It's more fun to talk about the abstract than to talk about the concrete. The blood in your veins, your energy, your signature. But what we do is surf this wave together and see the beauty of the beach. We're all going to see the beauty of the beach, man. We just keep surfing the wave. You know, we're going to hit that dry land, and we're all going to step out, and we're going to see our kingdom again. We're going to see our trees again. So keep surfing, and know that even when, you know, it seems like you go around and around and your head is spinning, you can't compute. It's not about computing, you know, and comprehending sometimes with your mind. Sometimes it's just a spiritual awakening. Sometimes it just affects you on a different subconscious level, you know. So let it be that when it's that, and then it's going to come back around, you know what I mean? Love the Geo Ship, you're doing a great job.
The factor of ice covering for polar areas results from the positions of such areas in relation to the universe whole, and from the distribution of magnetic forces throughout the universe. The magnetic dispensation varies in accordance with the natural laws governing its universal distribution. The scripting material dealing with Antarctica mentions that penguins and whales abound in this previously assumed desolate area of ice and eternal darkness, and that the mountains hold a fortune in coal and ores. As land, mountains, minerals and animal life are found to constitute the Antarctic area this side of the South Pole, land, vegetation and life are to be found as progress is made beyond the pole. At that particular pole point and for a distance beyond are experienced the most intense winds and blizzards, which act as a barrier to progress beyond the Earth. Such conditions seem to be an expression of divine will, which demands that terrestrial man be receptive to cosmic values before he is permitted to penetrate the ice barrier. Beyond the barrier will be found a warmer climate with land and waterways, and it is there that celestial cousins await terrestrial man's arrival, and if one asks how far beyond, it will suffice to record that the distance is negligible with modern transportation speed.
Whoa. You just dropped something. Who got their, you know what I'm saying, who took their hat off and caught that one? So let's decode this, you know what I'm saying, let's put our energy in this. Beyond the barrier will be found a warmer climate with land beyond the barrier, right? So we talk about the Arctic ice. So this ice is a barrier. You know, once you get beyond the barrier, you're beyond the barrier, right? It could also represent your, you know what I'm saying, your personal barrier. Because again, the distance is negligible with modern transportation speed. But there's a barrier for a time for us to catch up and get on some higher frequencies. To get to our one harmony of oneness, harmonics of oneness. Not just, when we say balance, we're not saying duality, like they've created duality instead of oneness. We say the marriage, we say the oneness. We are, all this is one nuclear family. All this is one thing. One thing. With wisdom, it's one thing. What do kings need? They need wisdom to conquer, to be great for their people. They need law and they need wisdom. They need the nuclear family. And it is there that celestial cousins, they say. So we just say, you know what I'm saying, our higher vibrations, you know what I'm saying, await terrestrial man's arrival, right? So they await the arrival of terrestrial man or the tribes. And if one asks how far beyond, it would suffice to record that the distance is negligible with modern transportation speed. So we're not saying something that's crazy. It's not talking about going to Mars. It's going to take, you know, months and this and that. Man, you talking about going a hop, skip, and a jump like you go to Africa? You can go that same distance, but in a certain other direction, and you'll be on another land.
The universe is not constructed in the manner of an enormous pinwheel, nor is any area thereof globular or spherical in reality, nor is any area isolated from its neighboring area. Areas of the flywheel universe, as shown in this illustration, could readily be drawn to the cylindrical. Then every connected land area of the celestial and the terrestrial could be undulating through the power of every area's magnetic energy. The undulating would be toward and away from the sun, and the sun would be moving in its unchanging course along the entire universe structure. The sun's continuous movement along the universe course would at one season of our terrestrial year be toward the terrestrial area. At another period of the year it would be moving away from the terrestrial areas. There is land under all celestial and terrestrial skylight. There are no globular bodies in motion. Ever-active sky gases are responsible for all detected motion which the lens detects. They also influence the spectrum. Duality of gas motion can exist, but duality of bodies can never exist. This was embraced as early as 1927. It was disclosed that every sky area of Earth would, through the motion of gaseous content, deceptively appear to be circling or revolving.
Wow.
What if this book is reality? What if it's true? Can you imagine what would happen if the people find out about this? I don't know if it's true or not, but for me it was a very interesting book to read. I made this video so that you know what the book is about, and I hope some more people will read it and maybe make a video about it.
And check it, none of us know what's beyond. None of us know what's true, but we know that we can ask the dang question for once, even if it's against science and against the popular opinion. I mean, you are looking for the narrow road, right? So if everybody's on the ball road, then clearly, is that the narrow road? Would that be the the beautiful, you know what I'm saying, knowledge that's being unsealed in Daniel 12 in the end